Welcome back to the COS, the Call on Our Shot podcast. This is Austin. I'm joined by Logan. And boy, oh boy, Logan, we got a busy episode today, and none other bigger than Super Bowl Sunday is on the way. If you are new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button down below. If you want to go download the podcast, the link is down below as well. Subscribe to the channel. Lastly, if you are new, almost at 23,000 subscribers. But first off, Logan, how are you doing? This is a big week for us.
This is exactly what we've been building to all season long. And week by week, we talk about who's Super Bowl contenders and who's going to win it all. Finally, we get to see what it's all led up to. No Sunday bigger than Super Bowl Sunday. This is an American holiday for all of our international friends. The world in America stops on Super Bowl Sunday. It's a big day.
It is true. It's kind of bittersweet ending to the NFL season, which has been full of a ton of different memories. And maybe we'll recap our favorite memories next week. But man, there's none bigger than Super Bowl Sunday. We get to Bengals and Rams. A lot of people might not have expected both these two teams to be here at the end of the day, but we're here to give you our favorite props. We're going to talk about a couple different our spread picks of the day, a bunch of different other things. But first off, how are you doing, Logan? Because last week we didn't really have any football. We sort of did.
I'm doing all right. Yes, I missed not having football last week, but guys, get used to it. Sadly, we're gonna have to figure out what direction we're taking this podcast. But for all of you guys who have loyally been with us through football season, we're still gonna make the episodes just as good. In the off season, we're gonna talk about a whole lot of things. But I'm doing very well. It's just the middle of the week. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing pretty well. As always, if you want to click that like button, we really appreciate it. I got to say shout out to our newest COS All-Stars. You guys have been killing just the join button on the channel. We really appreciate it. So I've talked about in NBA videos. I'm kind of posting our plays earlier than the video gets live. That will be the same case for the NFL, the Super Bowl, and it will be the same case for MLB season whenever that lockout ends. So if you want to hit the join button on the channel, we'd appreciate it. We'll shout you guys out in our normal NBA or baseball, whatever the day may be. But let's talk about some football. And let's talk about this past weekend. It wasn't the best football. It was the Pro Bowl. We had the Pro Bowl, and they do a lot of shenanigans that go on with the Pro Bowl. But I want to hear your thoughts because we texted a little bit about this, and you have some choice words for the Pro Bowl. So I'm going to let you, the floor is yours.
I every year I have some choice words for the Pro Bowl because I'm truly so turned off by whatever that product is that they throw on the field. Look, the Pro Bowl is supposed to be a celebration of the players and having good seasons, and it's also to be a celebration for the fans, right? I really was first of all, caveat, didn't watch a single minute of it, and I didn't have to because all I had to do was hop on social media and see people posting of game clips from it and me saying, oh boy, they're playing two-hand touch out there. Why would you put on full pads to go out there and just pretty much play two-hand touch? It's an abomination that they call it real football because that's not real football. These athletes risk injury week in and week out in the regular season. What do they have to play what do they have to play for in the Pro Bowl? Nothing. They're not going to risk injury. Football, unlike the NBA, unlike baseball, baseball, I like baseball's format a lot where the AL/NL, the winner of that All-Star game gets to host the World Series. They get home field advantage. That is a big, that is something to talk about. Not necessarily saying the Pro Bowl needs to follow that format, but I do have a proposition for Roger Goodell. I want to hear your thoughts first, though, before I lay out my master plan.
All right. We don't want to spend too much time on the Pro Bowl, but in my opinion, yeah, you're right. There's really not much of an incentive for the players to play. Now, I do like kind of what they've done with the dodgeball tournament. I think that's pretty cool. Some of the specific things they do, but some of them can be a little bit corny. And not that that's a bad thing. I mean, I know it's for the fans, and some fans want to see the players put on a show and things like that. But yeah, you're right. It's kind of hard for the players to really get motivated to play because what if they get injured or they have free agency pending? They also have just been spending like a week or a month off. A lot of these players are months off the season just to come back and play this meaningless game. So I don't blame the players for not trying. I just don't know what the right way to fix it is. And I was hoping maybe you could give me an offer.
The way to fix it, and I'll step off my soapbox in a second, just because this fires me up because I played football and I know that there's no incentive to hit anybody. Turn it into more of like a 7-on-7, like a pass skeleton type, something fun. Because we saw in that game a fun little matchup. The Diggs brothers faced off against each other. Stuff like that. You don't have to go and put on an exhibition football game, because that's not what people are tuning in to watch. They want to see weird matchups. They want to see one-on-ones. They want to see those types of storylines that you see in a normal football game. And they can do it if you just modify it to be a 7-on-7. You don't need linemen in a Pro Bowl. You can select them to the Pro Bowl team, but it's no battle of the trenches is going on. Nobody pays to see that in the Pro Bowl. So I'm just saying that is my solution.
That could be an interesting idea. I think building off of that, you could do something maybe like a one-on-one tournament or something along those lines, which would be pretty
Sure.
cool, like cornerback versus DB, or maybe running back versus linebacker, things like that. I think could be pretty interesting. I know people have
Absolutely.
kind of asked for that for the NBA. They always want to see, LeBron James go up against Kevin Durant in a one-on-one, or like Damian Lillard versus Kyrie Irving, things like that, which would be really cool for the NBA. I'm sure they could kind of bring that over to the NFL. Just don't know exactly, 7-on-7 would be interesting to watch, probably more fun than the actual Pro Bowl, but who knows what they're actually going to do. It's kind of hard to build.
Yeah.
Credit to the people that have to manufacture all of the Pro Bowl thing. Like, they got a tough job in themselves. They already are off on a bad start, regardless of what they do.
It's meant to be just a filler week leading up to the Super Bowl, and I mean that's kind of what it served as. But it just, I don't know, football purists to me, it just ticks me off to watch them claim that as normal football, because it really isn't. They're just it's disgraceful. But no, let's transition it into what the lead up was about, and that's about the Rams, and it's about the Bengals, it's about the Super Bowl. Oh man, I'm so excited for this one.
Yeah, you're right. Let's talk about the Super Bowl. That's what we're going to talk about the majority of the rest of the episode. And you see the Rams are 4-point favorites, over under 48.5 points. And Logan, I know this is going to be the biggest pick that you have of the season, and so I want to know: heads or tails on the kickoff, right on the coin toss. We need to know, what is your lock? We're max whale play, 25 units on it. What are you going with?
Well, tails never fails, so boom, right there. And can I just say something? There's no cooler bet in that you can bet in the Super Bowl than heads or tails, because it's a truly 50-50 bet. No other bet is like that. I'm just saying, it's really cool. If one side is juiced, then they have insider info, because it's a two-sided coin.
I've always been curious how much percentage is on what side,
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people will be tails, like 65%. And not that it's fixed or anything, but it could be.
Vegas made the call with the two-sided coin. All right. The one-sided coin. Both heads.
Well, I'm going to go with heads just because I want to go against you. I want one of us to be a winner. So we're not going to squad right it. If we squad rode tails, it would be guaranteed to be heads. So I'll go heads. You're going tails. And now the other biggest question is the winner. What's the Gatorade color? I mean, you have to decide on one. I put all the odds on the screen. Right now, orange is favored at plus 180. No Gatorade shower, which is, if you bet no Gatorade shower, you hate fun, but that's plus 300. Yellow Gatorade plus 350. Blue plus 400. Clear plus 600. Red plus 750. And purple plus 850. And I want to know which one you're going with, my friend, because I have a pick.
Yeah, to me, there's tremendous value at blue plus 400. I'm wearing that color. And I could just see it. Look, blue Gatorade is delicious. Yellow Gatorade, get out of my face. It shouldn't be plus 350. That's disgusting. No one drinks that stuff. But blue is a cool color. I could see it maybe raining down on Sean McVay, right? That Rams color, it does involve their color scheme, blue. Just saying. I like blue. What was it last year? Wasn't it orange? I believe
I believe so. Oddly enough, it is.
Maybe?
Orange being plus 180 is very suspect.
Yeah, that's fishy. What do they know?
It's like, do they know that the orange ones are right in the center, right where all the, if we think about how the Rams could end the game, if we think they might be kneeling it, they'd probably be kneeling it if they're ending the game. So that means the offense is on the field. So maybe the defense sits right in front of the orange. I don't know. Maybe we're doing a lot. Maybe I need to do more research into this. But this is going to be a max play for me. So I have to really do it. It will be and I do have to say, on a side note, for my Super Bowl picks, that'll be live Saturday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. So definitely set that alarm, click that bell notification 24 hours in advance of the Super Bowl. My play will go live, but maybe we'll have a Gatorade color in there. But if I'm going to pick one, I'm going red. The value, you can't say you don't love the value, plus 750. That is just beautiful. And when I think about a Super Bowl, the coaches always want to get like the players always want to get the coaches the most obnoxiously dirty. And red is arguably the worst color that you can get on your white clothes or whatever clothes you might have on. I think about if the Rams do win this game, they are on a white out. I don't know if their coaches are also wearing white, but if they are, red is your color.
Well, I mean, look, how am I supposed to argue against a plus 750? I love it. I would have just been mad if you picked orange or no shower. I mean, no shower,
No,
excuse me.
orange is just orange and no shower completely. You don't bet those. That's no value.
Orange, there's no value in anything under plus 200 on a literal Gatorade thing. And then no shower. What are you? What? No. Who bets that?
Get lost is what I say to those people.
I mean, come on. If this is the NFL, they have a big, that should be plus 10,000. That's a rule out. Get that out of there.
We're not going to do a national anthem because I haven't even looked at who's singing it. But without further ado, let's cut the shenanigans. We're 11 minutes in. Give the people what they want. Let's talk about this game hard. We got the Rams, obviously 4-point favorites, as I already said. Over under 48.5 points. Logan, if people are maybe first-time listeners to the podcast, which one, we want to say thank you. Thank you for listening to the podcast. But two, they probably don't know your allegiance. And so I want you to fill them in, and I want you to tell them what you're going with, what you like in this game, or maybe we give our plays in a second.
Right. So, this story, and I love rehashing it because it makes me look smart. But so about halfway through the season, we were talking about, Darkhorse Super Bowl people. And I kept always hinting that I liked the Bengals. I liked what they were doing. And then one week we put odds on it and I told you, I love the value at plus 2,000. So I absolutely have to ride with my pick into the ground, and I will take Bengals with points +4. Bengals +4 is the play on this one. And here's why. Yes, I sprinkle on the money line. Absolutely, I could. And I will, because I love my Bengals so much. Houday Nation. I mean, you guys welcome me with open arms to your bandwagon. Absolutely. I love you guys. I love what the Bengals are doing. I love, Joe Burrow. What is not to like about this team? They keep embracing the underdog role, and they keep, thriving in it. And you think SoFi Stadium is going to be too much of a task for them? Absolutely not. Bengals +4. I could see that this is a scenario I could see. See the Rams potentially winning, but not covering. Maybe Rams by a field goal, right? I feel like there's going to be a lot of people that bet the Rams, spread or Bengals money line outright. And usually there's a middle ground in between it where Vegas always gets you, and it could be Bengals with points. So I'm going to go ahead and ride with my Bengals one last time.
Are you any bit concerned about the Bengals offensive line after its struggles against Aaron Donald, Von Miller and company?
Absolutely. That's why I'm taking them with points, because I just don't think we can ignore what happened in the Tennessee game, right? I have a lot of football knowledge, and again, I played it, so I know it's not just as easy as snap your fingers and the offensive line's better. They played really good against Kansas City, almost too good for a lot of people to forget what happened versus Tennessee. Normally, you don't win a football game when you get sacked 9 times. So that is still in the back of my head. I'm still praying and hoping that the Bengals offensive line can shut down the really good pass rushers in the Rams. So, that's the big storyline that everyone and their mother's talking about. But I'm sure if you're leaning Rams, that's something on your mind.
Well, so we'll talk about my play, and want to know one thing. I'm wearing a Jets polo right now, and you want to know something that the Rams will have in common with the Jets? They both will have beaten the Cincinnati Bengals after Sunday, because the Cincinnati Bengals lost to my New York Jets, and they don't deserve to be in the Super Bowl. I can't back a team that lost to the New York Jets. I can't do it. It goes against everything I believe in. The Jets are an abysmal franchise. We stink. And if you lose to them, you aren't allowed to win the Super Bowl. It's just the rules. I don't make them. And look, I understand everyone's going to fall in love with Joe Burrow. I've fallen in love with him. I love his moxie. I love his confidence. I love his sunglasses. I love everything he plays for. But at some day, one of these teams is a little more talented and a little more and they've more battle tested. And I would argue that the Rams are that team. Now, you look at the Bengals, sure. They've really, they beat the Titans. Great for them. They beat the Raiders. Great for them. They beat the Chiefs in a game that everyone counted them out, and they came back and beat them. Really, that defense stepped up and really kind of stymied Patrick Mahomes. But I felt Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs beat themselves in that game. They had too much PTSD of what had happened in the past where they had leads and then they lost them. And they didn't know what to do. Whereas the Bengals coming into here, they have never really hit that adversity. They don't really know what it's like to lose a game like this. So they're just playing with house money. They're like, yeah, well, we'll just keep playing out there. I think the Rams, led by Matthew Stafford, a team that's pushed all the chips in. I think that offensive line will crumble for the Bengals. And we look at the Bengals and we look at the Rams offense. What does the Rams offense love to do? They love to run the football. And the Bengals defensive line is not very good at stopping the run. They might put up these stats that you might say, oh, this defense is pretty good. They give up a ton of yards per attempt. They just haven't faced a ton of attempts. You think about the Raiders. Josh Jacobs had a great day, over 100 rushing yards. You think about last week, the Chiefs, or 2 weeks ago, the Chiefs ran the ball really well. It's just the Chiefs. They just abandon the run whenever they can. You saw Jerick McKinnon and Clyde Edwards-Helaire run. I think Cam Akers, spoiler, is due a pretty good game. And we'll talk about him in a little bit, but I'm right with the Rams. Matthew Stafford, he might throw an interception, might throw 2, but I think their defense and their offense will be able to get it done. That's why I'm taking the Rams minus the 4 points. And I've been a spread fade all season, but I am changing that tide and I'm cashing this one.
No. You hit on a lot of good points, and I was sitting here saying,
you want to jump on? You want to jump on the trip? You can change your mind right now. You can come Rams minus 4.
No, you're making me want to bet 5 units on the Bengals. That's what you're making me want to do now, because you sit here so confident week in and week out as a spread fade. You do this. You're a professional spread fader. Yeah, and you know what?
I am due a win. Do you know that? I'm due a win.
Okay, yeah, I'm due a win. The Jets are due a Super Bowl then, by that logic. Who would have thought we're talking about the Jets in the Super Bowl context? Take that shirt off. No, just kidding. That's for the COS All-Stars.
Yeah.
It's gone downhill. But no, for real. I mean, we're talking. Let's talk a little X and O's, right? So you're probably gonna put Jalen Ramsey on Jamar Chase, right? Okay, makes sense. And first of all, you're not going to necessarily lock down Jamar Chase. He's just too talented. I mean, he's still going to get his. He'll still get 60, 70 yards. But it's going to be those second and third receiver, the Tyler Boyd and the T. Higgins, that really step up. And the Rams secondary has gotten carved up a lot of times, right? They rise to the occasion sometimes. But old man Eric Weddle playing safety, Watch the Bengals abuse him. The Bengals are going to remind people that Eric Weddle came out of retirement because the Rams were so desperate for the safety position. So they're going to exploit that Rams secondary. I'm very confident in that. What I hope they do also, I hope they get Joe Mixon involved. I hope it's just not a Joe Burrow drop back 40-50 time type game, because like that would be an scenario for the Bengals, because like you said, the offensive line, it's been a problem at sometimes. So if you keep the defense honest, Von Miller and all those talented pass rushers, Aaron Donald, they can't necessarily pin their ears back if the run's a threat.
I have a question for you. Did you see what Von Miller did in his last Super Bowl?
Oh no! Stop. we're not talking about that. Yeah, I had nightmares about Von Miller sacking Cam Newton. It was a strip sack for a touchdown. Everyone remembers that one, but everyone also remembers Cam Newton not diving on the football and breaking every Carolina Panthers fan's heart simultaneously. Yeah, get out of here.
Yeah. So what I hope from this game is that we get a good game. Now, if my pick of the Rams minus 4 is a no sweat bet, I won't honestly be happy with it. I want at least a good game and something that we can, talk about for years to come. Because this NFL postseason, if we can end with a bang with Super Bowl week, it'll probably be one of the best postseasons we've ever seen in terms of just every single game being so good. So hopefully we get a good game here. But I don't know. I trust the talent of the Rams. And I think back to the last time Sean McVay and the Rams were in the Super Bowl, they stunk. What was the score? Like 9-6. It was an ugly game to watch. If we get another one of those games, I will consider both of us losers, regardless of final score, because we will have watched a terrible game. I don't think we get that this time, but I think Sean McVay will have been thinking about this games for so long, trying to get back to the Super Bowl, all of his offensive game plan. Everyone considers him an offensive guru, and just last time he was in the Super Bowl, complete flop. But look, I like the Bengals. If I have to be strong on my Rams because I know you're strong on the Bengals, and I need to go against you in this one. But I'm proud of the Bengals for all they've done this season. I think they'll be back here definitely another time in Joe Burrow's future, maybe a couple different times. But this Rams team, I think, is way too all in. They got a lot of guys just, towards the back half of their career in terms of Stafford, Von Miller. I just think a lot of guys are just playing for a lot more than the Bengals are, and so I love the Bengals team. They're just not going to get it done on Sunday. I'm sorry to say it. Sorry. I really like
Well,
you, Bengals. I really Scott out there, one of our COS All-Stars. I'm sorry. I love Houday Nation. It's just not your time.
I'd argue that it is their time. I mean, what's crazy is that the Bengals actually, spent a lot in free agency.
Yeah, credit to them. They did really well in their hirings.
Exactly. They've done well in the draft with Jamar Chase. They obviously there's holes at the offensive line, but like they went out and got Mike Hilton, right? Mike Hilton, not one of those players that every casual fan knows. He's pretty much a lockdown corner. If you saw in the second half of what he did against Tyreek Hill, I expect more of that, Mike Hilton, and I need you to do that to Cooper Kupp. Please. Fingers crossed he can do it. But I mean, there's talent everywhere in that secondary of the Bengals. That's what's going to be the key here. Bengals defense, rise up, please, against Cooper Kupp. Make Odell Beckham Jr. beat you. Make I guess the Rams running game. Like if the Bengals can get out to maybe a little bit of a lead and make the Rams somehow play catch up, you got them right where you want them, because I'm telling you, the Rams don't want to drop back. They thrive on running the ball. That's what their game plan is. We talked about it every week. They don't want Matt Stafford to have to go in the game, because Matt Stafford, I think he actually led the league in interceptions. I'm pretty confident in that stat.
Yeah, I think he had 17 of them.
Exactly. And Joe Burrow, I know this for a fact, led the league in sacks. So it was pretty much he's always on his back. I mean, so it's one of those situations where the Bengals get a few explosive plays. Maybe Matt Stafford has to play from behind. Houday Nation,
we're
getting
the Bengals
one.
really this postseason. They really haven't. Haven't started, and that Chiefs game they didn't start too strong. And in my opinion, they really have not beaten a lot of teams that are good on the road. Now that was my reasoning for taking the Chiefs in the last one, and that didn't pan out too well.
Yeah,
but
that worked.
They didn't work out too well. But it's just hard to trust that offensive line. And if the Bengals do get down like they did against the Chiefs, the Rams defense is just much better than Chiefs. And they got a lot more interior guys that can force pressure. If you're doubling Aaron Donald, you got Von Miller coming off the edge and a bunch of other guys. I think it's going to be tough. And now if they can establish a running game with Joe Mixon, that could make the world of differences. But I feel like, if this Rams team, if they can get up, we've seen Sean McVay's record when he leads at halftime. He's like undefeated minus that one loss in week 18 to the 49ers, where they were up, 17-0. I just think if they can get a lead, which I think they will get a lead, they're at home. And granted, I know there's been a lot of drama or whatever about the Rams not being able to pack their own stadium. But this goes a big way in building a big fan base in LA. And it starts with winning a game like this, the Super Bowl, in front of all your home fans. You're going to build a fan base for really the next 30 to 40 years. So the Rams need this win more than the Bengals.
I mean, you're talking about the off the field, narratives, and that's cute. All right. And we can talk about Matt Stafford and what it would mean for him to get a Super Bowl and everything. But sorry, old man. We got it. We got a way cooler, way more fun quarterback in Joe Burrow, because he's so icy, man. You're
making me want to shoot myself right now.
The kids know. The kids know. But no, I mean, really, the Bengals, nothing intimidates them. I love teams like that. I love teams that they get off the bus and they expect to win because they've faced the adverse situations. Exactly what you said. The Bengals haven't started games great. I mean, imagine if they do. That's the funny thing about it, right? Like, imagine they're not trailing early. Boom. Hello, Rams. Get run out of your own stadium. Let's go, Bengals. You made me fired up. I'm even more confident in them. Maybe you can keep the points. I'm sprinkling on the money. I don't care. I don't care what you're saying.
Speaking of getting off the bus, did you see the Bengals getting off the bus to go to Cincinnati's indoor field?
No. Well, I saw some clips of it. What specifically are you talking about?
Yeah, the Bengals are like the only team in the NFL without an indoor practice field.
So
they were practicing in the cold, and it was all icy, and they had to travel to Cincinnati, the University of Cincinnati.
I saw that
on bus, all padded up, just to go play in Cincinnati's, the Bearcats practice field, which is in a bubble. I just don't know how you win like that. I mean, props to the Bengals for getting it done. Hopefully, with the Super Bowl endorsements and merchandise sales, hopefully they can afford an indoor practice field, because those players certainly deserve it.
What are you talking about? This is the NFL. Of course they can afford it. That for whatever reason they choose to. This is why the Bengals are so good, because they choose the uncomfortable, harsh conditions of practicing out in the cold. And you know what? In LA, they're all sipping their cocktails by the pool. They're just relaxing. They're getting a rude awakening when those battle tested boys from the north come down and invades California. I'm excited.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. So let's move on and let's talk about Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah.
And I'm curious. I want your realistic pick, and I want a dart throw from you because I have both of mine, and I want to hear what you got.
Okay. No, I'm looking at this.
I didn't put everyone on here. I stopped at plus 4,500 and put McPherson on here just for you on the list of players.
Okay.
But the lowest odds right now for the people that are just listening to the podcast: Stafford's at plus 100, Burrow plus 225, Cup plus 600, Aaron Donald plus 1,600, Jamar Chase plus 18, OBJ plus 828, Akers plus 35, and then Higgins, Mixon, and Von Miller plus 45.
I'm just curious, like looking at this list, and we've had years where defensive players won it. Does it even list? Are those like wild astronomical odds? I'm just curious, like what were if a DB were to get a couple picks or something, they might be the MVP. Who knows? Maybe a pick 6 or 2. I'm just saying.
It's notoriously a QB dominated award. I mean,
Of course.
I mean, I think let me count. Brady and Mahomes have won it back-to-back years. Prior to that, it was Edelman, then Foles, Brady, then the Von Miller year, then Tom Brady, then a linebacker, and then before that, it was like 4 straight QBs. So notoriously a QB dominated award. So you'd imagine majority of people will be placing stuff on Stafford and Burrow, but I think this year might be different.
Yeah, okay, fine. I'm gonna go with, like I said, the outcome I could see happening is the Rams winning, but the Bengals covering. Yeah, the Rams win. It's gonna be on the back of Cooper Kupp. That's just how it is. Hello, like we're this is a narrative thing. Cooper Kupp has had one of the best seasons ever, if not the best, of a wide receiver. Nobody's stopping the boy. He's been amazing. Plus 600. You're giving me $100 to win 600. I'm taking that to the bank. That actually seems like a lock to me.
I like the pick. I like where your head's at. You got the right team winning, that's for sure. My pick, and this is what I want to throw. I think this is the best value I see on the board. I don't think there's much value in Aaron Donald. He was like plus 2,000. Now he's down to 1,600. Mm-hmm. I think Cam Akers plus 3,500 is worth the sprinkle. And here's why. If we think about the Rams, they want to run the ball. And we look at Cam Akers, he's going to be the guy that gets the majority of touches. I already talked about the Bengals rushing defense. And it doesn't allow it hasn't allowed, the number 1 yards in the league, but they do allow a lot of rushing yards per attempt. They're going to be so focused on stopping, obviously, Cooper Kupp, probably Odell Beckham Jr. I could see Cam Akers having a very good day. If he gets to, 100 yards and 2 touchdowns, it's going to be hard to not give him the MVP. And so at plus 3,500 odds, I don't see OBJ winning it. I just don't. They would. The NFL hates him. They would never give him the Super Bowl MVP, regardless of how good he plays. But I could see Cam Akers, just the story of coming back from an Achilles tear, just to go into the Super Bowl and have the game of your life after fumbling twice a couple weeks ago against the Buccaneers, and then just having a complete reversal of fortune. And I just love the value on Cam Akers at plus 3,500 on DraftKings. I just think it's too good to pass up, and I'll be sprinkling on it.
I can see. Look, I think there's a few ways to go here, right? You can obviously pick the Cam Akers one, but I mean, even on the other side of the ball, if you are, if you heard my Bengals argument and you're like, hey, Logan, maybe I could see him winning. Yeah, you know what? It might be on the back of Joe Mixon, right? It easily could be, and plus 4,500 is just a ridiculous value on that. I mean, Stafford and Burrow, you're going to have a lot of people betting on the QBs as they should, because it is a QB dominated award. But every now and then you get a non-quarterback to win, and I'm just saying Cooper Kupp fits the bill there. But also, I mean, Cam Akers, you're right on that side of the ball. The question is, does Sony Michel take away too much from him? That's the question.
It could be. And when I'm looking at the Super Bowl winners, like there has not been a running back since Terrell Davis for the Broncos back in what? Super Bowl, is that 37?
They're due.
They're due, baby. 32 maybe. Yeah, there hasn't been one in a while, so maybe they are due a winner. It seems like it's a lot more either a linebacker, a wide receiver, or QB that's going to win it. I do like the Cooper Kupp call. I think the value on that one is pretty good. Plus 600. I mean, this is a guy that's dominated all season long. And could we see Cooper Kupp get 2 touchdowns? Yes, he's done it before.
Yeah.
Maybe Cooper Kupp gets both of Matthew Stafford's touchdowns, and maybe Stafford throws an interception or two. That's going to deflate his stats, and he doesn't play a perfect game. It wouldn't surprise me. We look at the last couple of QBs. I mean, they've all played pretty well in terms of Brady played well last year, Mahomes the year prior. All those guys led comebacks. So I think Cooper Kupp. I mean, you saw Julian Edelman win it 3 years back. Why not? Why not Cooper Kupp? He's Julian Edelman on steroids.
I'm just, yeah. Julian Edelman wishes he could be Cooper Kupp, but I mean, if you're looking at the logic here, like Matt Stafford, if Cooper Kupp doesn't have a ridiculous Cooper Kupp type game, I'm here to tell you the Rams aren't going to win this game. They're just not. Like they absolutely, when their backs are against the wall, you saw it in the 49ers game. Who do they go to? Cooper Kupp. Time and time again, it's what they do. So it's kind of one of those, it goes hand in hand. Matt Stafford's probably going to inflate his own stats by inflating Cooper Kupp, and Cooper Kupp's done it all year for him. I don't know. That like I said, the narrative is there pretty much. It's not like Cooper Kupp's just going to have where did that kind of come from game. If Cooper Kupp ends up with 100 yards, 2 touchdowns, everyone's going to be like, it's exactly what he's done all year. So yes, I agree with you there. But I mean, Stafford at plus 100, that's just, I'm just begging people, please don't bet that. Like,
yeah, there's no real value on that. I could see Burrow maybe. I could see Burrow going for the value, but you might as well just take Bengals money line at that point, because I don't know what Bengals money line value is, but I mean, he's not winning it if they don't win outright. And Bengals money line is plus 165, plus 170. So the 50, I know, plus 170 to plus 225, not a big change. I would just take Bengals money line because Burrow's not winning it if they do not win the game. It's you very. I don't know when the last time we saw a Super Bowl MVP from the losing team. It's been. I don't even know when the last one was, but it's been a long time. And so if you're gonna bet Burrow, probably just take Bengals money line and ride with it into the grave, because there's no, I don't think the value is there unless your book has a much better line at like plus 300. Then maybe Burrow's worth a sprinkle onto it.
I could see it. Yeah. Who knows? Evan McPherson plus 15,000. You are just absolutely begging me to talk about my boy. Come on. He has a Super Bowl MVP odds. That is absolutely insane.
I mean, he's been arguably their MVP of the postseason.
That's what I'm saying. That kicker's never won, right? I think they're due. I think, and if it's gonna if it's gonna be a kicker, it's gonna be Evan McPherson. Look, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but if you know, you're just listening to this and you don't know what I'm talking about, I have homework for you. Go look at the trick shot video Evan McPherson did while he was a Florida Gator, also while I was in school. And he kicked a football up on a railing and it hit the bottle cap and like spun the bottle cap. It was ridiculously precise, but it just goes to show you how talented of a kicker he is. And kickers don't give much love. This is football, right? But Evan McPherson is a very, very good talent, and don't sleep on him.
Yeah, I mean, this is two elite kickers. I would definitely say the Bengals have the lead here with McPherson. Matt Gay is solid, but he has missed some kicks. Doesn't have as great of a leg as McPherson. But you're right, McPherson's been dominant. He's really the reason that the Bengals are here. I mean, without him, this team would probably be sitting on the couch watching the postseason. That guy carried them to the Titans game, made that big clutch kick against the Chiefs.
They would have made the playoffs without him. That's how it is, because he won them games at the end. And I'm just saying, if this game's tight, kicker for kicker, give me money, Mac. That's his nickname. So give
hey, I like all these value picks we're giving you guys. I want you guys to let us know your favorite value pick, and let us know if you're going heads or tails in the comments down below, because I'm curious where the COS community is lying. But
yeah,
do you have anything else you would like to chat about before we wrap up this podcast? No, it's a little bit shorter one, but we'll definitely have a lot of different things to talk about next week. But it's got to give this one all the Super Bowl love.
Yeah, no, I think we hit on everything. This is what makes, everything about betting fun, because you can find so many weird bets in the Super Bowl. But bet responsibly. My parting words is you don't want to lose your house on one game, right? It's fun, and a lot of people bet a lot on it, but just be responsible.
I agree with that. I mean, people need to realize that like 2 to 3 million new people are coming into the betting market, starting in the Super Bowl. So there's going to be tons of money on it. So if something looks too good to be true, it's because it is too good to be true. These lines are going to be super sharp. So like I said, Saturday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time will be my I'll have 2-player props, my spread pick, which you already know from this video. And then I'll have a same game parlay kind of dart throw, maybe a couple other things, just because it's Super Bowl. It's our last NFL video until September. Maybe I'll do one for the Hall of Fame game again, but it's going to be a while before we have another one.
Yeah, I know. Everyone go show him some love on his video and cry. You feel free to put some sad comments on it too about how much you're gonna miss football, because once the Super Bowl's over, sorry guys, you got boring NBA to follow. Yeah.
Hey, the NBA is heating up. We'll be talking about the trade deadline next week, which I'm sure we'll have some crazy trades by the time. Maybe by the time this podcast goes live, there's already been crazy trades today. So maybe we'll break down some trade deadline talk next week. But man, oh man, the Super Bowl, enjoy it. Bet responsibly. Manage that bankroll. You don't need to put a full max unit on heads or tails, but it is fun to kind of watch at the beginning of the game, enjoy the game with your friends and family. And man, this has been Calling Our Shot podcast, episode number 24. If you haven't subscribed or downloaded the podcast, go down below and hit those both.
Who Dey Nation!
Who Dey? Well, I'm going with the Rams. Logan's going with the Bengals. We'll be back next week to talk about the Super Bowl, talk about the NBA trade deadline, talk about your guys' questions. It's going to be a good week. So stay tuned for that Super Bowl video on Saturday. And man, oh man, it's been the Calling Our Shot podcast. It's been Austin for Logan, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, everyone.